Out of these 24 components, the Department of Justice and the E-Committee have tentatively, I say tentatively because it's subject to discussion with all our high courts, identified 13 components where there may be a need for centralization. And why centralization? The reason for centralization, for instance, is that in the area of digitization and scanning, the Expenditure Finance Committee, while releasing the 7,200 crores to us, has made certain binding recommendations. Among those binding recommendations is that scanning and digitization must be subject to open price market discovery. We envisage that about 3,108 crore documents would be digitized at a certain per page estimation. The Expenditure Finance Committee has highlighted that perhaps if you were to scale up and subject your digitization estimates to open market discovery mechanisms, the price per page will radically reduce. Now, the need, therefore, for this is that we need to have a centralized national agency. I'm conscious of the fact that several high courts have already begun the process of digitization. So when we have a uniform national agency, some of the best market players in India who are involved in the process of digitization across India, we'll have to take into account the work of digitization which has already been done, whether it be Orissa or Delhi or Karnataka or Kerala. The idea is not to obliterate the work of digitization, but take into now account the work which has been done and then look to the future. So apart from the fact that you have digitization and scanning which has to be subject to open market discovery of pricing, it is important to look at certain other areas as well. The digital infrastructure which we intend to create, and which is my next slide, is firstly paperless courts, second virtual courts. Delhi has been leading from the front in the creation of virtual courts, particularly in the area of traffic challans, of which we heard a short while ago. The footprint of the paperless courts has to be expanded. Live streaming, which is dependent on a robust cloud infrastructure. Today, most high courts are doing live streaming on YouTube with the attendant problems which we have been hearing in the earlier part of this presentation this morning by Chief Justice Muralidhar and by Justice Rajesh Bindal. You have these little clips about a judge in the Patna High Court asking an IAS officer as to why he was not appropriately dressed in a suit as opposed to being dressed in only a shirt and a trouser. Or somebody in the Gujarat High Court saying something about, why a lawyer is not ready with her cases. So a lot of funny stuff is going on the YouTube, which we need to control. Because this is serious stuff. What happens in the court is extremely serious stuff. Live streaming that we are doing has a flip side. We as judges need to be trained ourselves because we are now working in the age of social media. Every word which we say in the court is up on the public realm, which we realize when we are hearing the Constitution bench arguments. Very often citizens don't realize that what you say in the course of a hearing of a case is to open up a dialogue. It doesn't reflect what you're going to ultimately decide necessarily in every case. In some cases it may, in some cases it may not. But people don't understand this at large. So live streaming, our interface with social media, places new demands on us as judges. But therefore we need to create a robust cloud infrastructure for live streaming. And cloud infrastructure perhaps is one way where we have to have a national model, a centralized national cloud infrastructure, not in terms just of price discovery, but of upscaling our activities. We'll also have to have additional hardware for new courts, renewable energy.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं मानक गुप्ता। अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें और हां, हमें सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें ताकि आप देश और दुनिया की कोई खबर मिस ना करें। तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए न्यूज़ 24।